We are back. It is another week for the Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey Podcast. Wade Hampton, Paul Rank, Justin, somebody in the corner, Mister
Ah,
Mister running 8 miles and adjusting his camera for those who watch it on video. Justin Walden, of course, joining us as well. Wade got the playoff cough right with all the teams just about going to the what we got 10 games left or so.
Yeah.
We know the Sharks are out. The Blues are 98% out. Justin, where's the Jets? I haven't had a chance to look and see where they are in this.
third in the Central. They're getting bumped by Nashville. I'm a little worried.
Who the hell saw that coming?
Not a soul.
Oh, they've come talk about. I think just hot as a firecracker.
Yeah, playoffs are definitely going to be interesting this year. I want to mention a few things as we get started. Make sure if you want the drink your face off puck that opens your bottles or the fancy shirt, reach out to Mitch. He can set you up with those. It is opening day for baseball, but who the hell cares because it's still hockey season. Happy 70th birthday to Paul. Had his birthday the other day. The 70th joke was because I just Googled Zamboni cake, and that one said "Happy 70th birthday," like Dada or something. You know what? I'm gonna throw that on his wall, and so Paul
Absolutely
not
perfect.
quite 70.
Thank you.
Was a nice cake though.
Yeah. I would have loved to have tried some, but it's next year.
Hope you you had a nice birthday and got everything that you wanted. Gentlemen, how are things?
Excellent. Quiet on my end.
All good here.
Yeah. Mostly pretty good, except for my Red Wings are letting me down again. They won a couple games after getting rid of, with the trash patch, and now they're down 4-0 to Carolina tonight, and we're in the playoff race still. But that by the time we do our next show, we will not be. So,
but you know what? I mean, at least they're not getting beat by a suck team. Carolina's decent, so at least give them that. If it was a garbage team, I'd be more saying, yeah, the garbage patch is still killing you.
yeah. Oh no, it's just the team's just killing us. But can't blame the patch. I'd love to, but yeah.
Some people may think we're almost like a broken record. We're talking about Boston stuff, but as they drop things, I like to see what happens and what's going on. They did do another drop 2 days ago. There's actually still quite a few of those jerseys sitting out here, which
a couple good ones too.
I'm a little surprised about. You've got they're set to Centennial style. They got a Boquist that's at 1,500. They've got a Charlie Coyle at 3, DeBrusque at 2, McAvoy at 4. Forbort, I know in the Boston Game Worn page, some people were a little surprised about how expensive his is. Van Riemsdyk at 2. You do also have the opening night Charlie McAvoy out here for $6,000 right now.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones that were out there, Pasternak at $6,000, Marchant 7,500, McAvoy 4, Swayman and Olmark at 3,000 each. But as I read those, most of those are gone. So
yeah,
the comments on a lot of those and the level that people are shocked with the pricing, like we said before, if they're gone, then the pricing is not out of line. But are we surprised, though, that they're moving that quickly?
It's a 1-year jersey, so it's going to end up being a thing where in a couple of years, people that don't have them are going to be clamoring when they do pop up, and they're beautiful.
They do look good.
So I think it's one of those things where in the realm of pricing today from, teams and whatever, I mean, a big market team, original 6, I don't think they're really out of line. And you put it best, Doc, if they're out of line, there'd be 25 of them sitting there.
I am a little bit surprised there's 10 from this set still sitting there, which, after the first couple drops they had, there was nothing left after an hour or so.
Yeah, no. Well, and that's and I think that's the big ones are gone. And I think, these are I guess people don't like Charlie McAvoy. That's
Well, it's what 4K the McAvoy, I think. Yeah.
yeah,
Just
and 6 for the opening night. But I mean, they're beautiful shirts. I mean, I don't know.
And maybe too, because you've had some other of those drop. Maybe the people who wanted certain players have already gotten those, and maybe that's
Yeah.
why some of the ones that are currently out there are still
Yeah.
hanging around, and we'll see how long they sit.
I'm curious about the game issued and some of the call-up jerseys, how much those are going to go for as well. I mean, if at this rate, they have to be like even high, like 6, 7, 8, 900 bucks for even like a Providence guy at this point.
Yep.
That's well, I mean, some of their training camp jerseys are up there. You've got a Jake DeBrusque training camp for $600. You have a
Crazy.
floorboard for $600. I'm sorry, it's a training camp jersey.
I think the Beecher 600 too.
Yeah,
Don't-
most of these
Yeah, it's still there, yeah.
Lindholm, because they have the white and the darks.
Yeah.
Most of those are, and there's a couple rando, but even there too. Shattenkirk 600. I mean, they are pretty because I like how they've done the arm numbers, and the overall look is very nice because it's Centennial training camp jersey, but the logo is the rubberized Adidas to standard practice jersey logo. It's not. If it was all stitched, maybe I'd be a little bit more higher on them, but it's still, and I can't zoom in on the arm numbers enough to see if they're an ironed on type or if it's a giant sewed patch. The pictures are too hard to see. So if anybody who has one of these, feel free to shoot me a message to let me know for sure. But I mean, when you can buy some of the game jerseys, if you're going to pay $600 for a training camp or $1,200 for the players actual jersey, gee, I'll save or I'll spend an additional $6.
Yeah. And one thing I just noticed, the white Beecher training camp is now 500. I thought that was 600 for when they first released it. So they might be doing some modest price adjustments.
And
I'm
curious too, and if Tom or anybody else, Tom Frost or anybody else knows this and is listening to this, feel free to reach out to me. Has anybody attempted to reach out to the Bruins, like to make offers? And I know on the ones that just dropped, good luck, you're not going to get that. But these training camps ones have now been out here a little bit, because I will say I've done that with the Blues stuff sometimes, where if it sat out there and I've got, you know what, maybe I like to pick that up. I've reached out, and sometimes the answer is yes, or they meet in the middle on what I offered, things like that, and I get those deals done. Or sometimes like, you know what, I'll just hold off. But I'm curious if anybody's attempted that, and maybe with the first year, good, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
The other one I want to touch on, and Wade, you brought it up today when I got to see you have some lunch and catch up, is the Vegas jerseys that were available online.
Well, yeah, I think they're in-store only purchase, but people were posting them from the team store with Vegas. They had that Winter Classic style jerseys in-house, and I think some pretty good names were about $3,000 on those. Man, I mean, that's a great looking jersey. I think somebody said there was an Eichel sitting for $3,000, which I don't know the market entirely on Eichel, but that doesn't sound out of line at all.
Well, compared to Boston's.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, an Eichel specialty jersey for $3,000, even if it's a one game, is not a terrible price for that level player.
They also had, and again, getting all this information from the Vegas Golden Knights game worn page, if you're not out there following it. They also had practice jerseys, the Winter Classic practice jerseys out there.
Yeah.
I didn't see what the price on those were. People didn't have them listed, but I'm trying to see some of the other ones that are here, because they had a decent amount of them by what I understand, the gamers. But they were a one game jersey, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So like, not a terrible out of line price.
It's kind of wild when you start talking about like these amounts as being not out of line. Like if you had told me in my 20s that I'd be thinking, oh yeah, a jersey priced at $3,000, which was like more than my first two cars combined. Like there's a part of me that just this is not real life. This is not, we are not dealing with real life. Like I'm just committed to like
Well,
one.
the hobby has changed. I think the hobby is changing. I mean, those numbers are definitely continuing to go up. I mean, I think recently somebody was Doc. I think we were talking about it, like digging into some of the old blues, give smarts where jerseys were in. You could get somebody for $300 or $400. I think
Yep.
those days are just gone. And I don't know if it's because we keep seeing an influx of new collectors, or if the values are going up, or if just the trade prices are going up.
I mean,
But
everything is.
everything's going up. I mean, I know that's probably not a political discussion we're going to have here on dirty laundry, but at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's amazing what we all think is comfortable compared to what 5 years ago was comfortable, if that makes any sense.
And
Yeah.
well, and it's funny you mentioned that too, because I think it was Nikki Lau posted it in the Vancouver group. I saw it the other day. Was a pricing sheet from 5 to 7 years ago, somewhere right in there, and how low the prices were, and I commented on it because I wish these were like this. I said, and some people were asking, well, what happened? What changed? I said, one of the things I feel changed was teams realized money could be made off that stuff
Yeah.
much more than before. They used to sell it at used equipment prices.
Yeah.
Now it's more in seems to be a lot of cases of collector prices.
Well, the one thing, and Doc, I've said it 1,000 times, and I used to get a lot of heat for it. Pre-cup, the Blues Give Smart thing was really only something that the primarily Blues collectors and local people were in on. And everybody used to get mad at me because I'd get mad anytime somebody would post the link to a current auction. So I'm like, you're making the prices more expensive because more people are bidding. But I mean, that's part of it too. I think the connectability that people have to, these auctions has changed substantially. I know that, I'm linked into the Give Smart for a lot of teams, the Kings and Nashville and other teams that use that format, Vegas, or not Vegas, but Colorado. And not that I'm a bidder on a lot of that stuff, but I am a watcher on it. So I think that's increased the prices as well. Just more activity and more availability.
Well, even on the low end stuff too. Remember, I mean, like Shop Goodwill, there were gems to be had for like dirt cheap.
Oh yeah, there's certain people in the hobby that are checking that multiple times a day now, and then they're showing up on eBay for more money, and then they're showing up in the groups for more money, and
There's no more secrets in the hobby.
yeah, the secrets are gone.
And Paul, I mean, you've been involved with the shark stuff and been able to luckily enough be able to take those pictures and thing. Have you seen an overall swing from teams that originally kind of were just getting rid of stuff to get rid of it, and now kind of going, you know what, we know collectors want this, so we're going to raise the prices?
I mean, I've seen the same upward trend everyone else has seen. When the Sharks went from basically having the Sharks Foundation run the equipment sale to a private business run it, the prices went up dramatically. You used to be able to get third, fourth line players who weren't overly popular for 300-400 a shot. Now the jerseys basically start 600, 700, 800 for the Sharks. It's the new the all black jerseys with the fin on them. Those are typically going for $1,000 or so. I will say one thing about the Sharks, they'll release 3 or 4 of those a night at the game. So there's always a rush to see what's being offered, someone to get it. And I think a couple have hit the resale market because people picked up ones just to get one and not get the player they want, which is one thing I like how the Bruins do it. They release the whole set at once. And
Sure.
we might not be crazy about their pricing, but they put it all out there at once.
Yeah.
I don't know when you'll get this uploaded, but
Tomorrow.
tomorrow there's another Sharks auction tomorrow being Friday, March 29th. I'm not sure what time it closes, but they have 3 of the black jerseys up there. They have Blackwood, Vlasic, and Smith.
Where what system hosts your guys' auctions?
You actually go to Sharks Pro Shop. It's the same back end as what the Bruins are using. And I've said this on the show before. I don't like how they do the auction on there because you cannot do a reserve bid. So if you want to bid, if the jersey's at 900 now and you want to bid 1200, your bid is 1200. It's not 910 or 950.
Really?
Like everyone else does. It's and then it closes right at the time it says. And no extended bidding if anyone's bid in the last 5 minutes. It's it's frustrating is the best way I'll put it when you're bidding on
It sounds that way, especially from because otherwise you got to sit there and okay, I'm going to go 950. Well, no, okay, now it's 960 or whatever the increment they set. I think the Blues set a $25 increment, but yes, with the Give Smart, you can set that. Okay, here's my high end, but that's not going there, and I think a lot of teams do. Do we know many other teams that don't?
I
Don't.
can't say.
And if anybody out there that bids on teams that knows that's done the way the Sharks do it, let me know. I'd love to put that info out there.
Yeah.
And unless they recently changed it, the increment for the Sharks is $1.
Okay.
So if it's at 900 and you snipe it at 901, you'll win unless someone put in that $1,200 bid. Interestingly, it used to be you could bid fractions of a cent. So at 900, you could bid like 900.000124, and on the main page, the winning bid would still show up as 900, even though you with the fractional penny bid would be ahead of that person.
Oh my
Now, how the
God.
hell do they collect that? Is what I want to know.
They've changed that now. I think it has to be full dollar amounts, but yeah, I mean it was part of the learning experience for them.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Strange days.
Yeah. So, speaking of auctions, and actually go back to the Golden Knights for just a minute. I did go out to their site for game jerseys, just kind of curious to see what they have. They currently have 60, looks like 61, 62 jerseys out here. Stanley Cup Finals ones are still out here. You got a Martinez for 6,000, Haig for 6,000, Petrangelo for 8, McNabb for 6, White Cloud for 6. Brossois for 2,500. The gold all-star style for 1,500. Got a Ryan Reeves home for $3,000.
There's lots of wear.
Let's see. Riley Smith playoff worn from last year for 2,000. So kind of a mix of stuff of around the board. Mark Stone for 5. They do not have, and I wonder if they start them in the rink for a bit to see where they go, and then if they drop them on their site, because that was a discussion that I had 5+ years ago with Dallas. It was back when Mike McKenna went there, and I was trying to pick up one of his jerseys. Well, when we got in contact with the people running, they're like, "Oh yeah, we only sell them at the arena." I'm like, let's give you some suggestions. And then they started posting it out there. They would do it for so long in the arena, and then they would post them online. But so that may be the case with Vegas. And if anybody has contacts out there or knows more about what they do, please let me know. Other auction related stuff. NHL auctions has several different things going on right now. One of which you have the Gordie Howe, the personal effects of the Howe family going on out there. These go through April the 4th. Gordie's 7677 arrows is currently at 21,359. Mark Howe 3,800. Marty Howe at 3,300. See, wow, you could pick up the 3 for what, 30 grand ish. The Howe family's 2000 Wayne Gretzky Award of Excellence trophy at 5,700. The mini Stanley Cup given to Gordie by Mike Ilitch is at 2,549. You can get Gordie Howe's custom license plate that says Arrows 9 for $599. Okay, I gotta laugh at this one. A Detroit Vipers ceremonial puck from Gordie Howe's final professional game. This puck is blank. It's I'm assuming, I don't know if they gave it to him after they dropped it or what, but there is no markings. It has some use to it, but I'm worried about that one because how do you really know? Ironically enough, there's no bids on it. It's currently listed at $3.99, but it's just a blank puck.
So my understanding is this collection did come from the Howe family, so it's
Yeah, the
hopefully-
provenance is there, but it's just like it's a completely blank puck. How do you? I don't know because if certificates get lost or things get messed up, how do you know?
Oh yeah,
Gordie Howe's 1971 NHL All-Star watch, $14.99. No current bids. His first contract is out here. There's a lot of really cool pieces, and a lot of stuff. The prices, at least at this point, are not out of line.
How did this not end up at one of the major auction houses like Classic? Curious.
Good question.
and
I
I'm
guess-
shocked at how much stuff they're putting out at once too. Not
Right.
just that
'Cause
it's
there is
not a lot.
27 page, or I'm sorry, not well, yeah, actually, it's 27 pages because I'm like, wait a minute. There's signed jerseys from other people in here that are part of this collection. You have a Martin St. Louis autographed Rangers pro jersey with the 1,000 point in inscription for $350.
So that is that is the Frozen Pond charity, the house. So I'm guessing Frozen Pond is somehow involved in the acquisition of the personal effects because it's listed as Frozen Pond charity. So that must be going through them at some level.
I mean, there is an absolute ton of stuff in here. Blues fan wants a Ryan O'Reilly autograph Blues. It's a Fanatics jersey though, but it's all the Stanley Cup inscription, Conn Smythe inscriptions, $279. Larry Robinson, you got a Timu Solani. Do have a Paul Stewart autographed referee jersey. It's an actual NHL jersey. It's at $249 if anybody collects those. But 27 pages of stuff.
Jeez.
So there's cards in here. I'm just kind of picking
Well-
pages. You even have a Dan Marino home and away half and half jersey where it's the home and away colors on one jersey.
But not just cards. There's also Gordy and Colleen's AAA cards.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Those minimum bid 79, no bids yet. They also, I couldn't find it quickly, have his Detroit Red Wings alumni membership card.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something you could use still, to get into the alumni functions, but it's there's some really I guess unusual stuff, I will say, available.
Speaking of unusual, they have a Sidney Crosby autographed life-size cutout where it's Crosby standing next to like a kid and the face is out, so you'd stick your face through and take a picture.
Oh my God.
Does have one bid.
Who doesn't want that?
Well, right. A lot of Wayne Gretzky autograph stuff in here. A good mix of things. I mean, but if you want it, you may find it in this auction.
Golf tees. Who doesn't want Gordie Howe golf tees? That
Yeah.
There's a part of me that's like, let's fire up the bourbon, see what comes out of this.
Well, speaking of that, there's several bottles of the Wayne Gretzky signed whiskey in here and wine. So there is a little bit of everything.
I hope they make a lot of money on these auctions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do too. But they do close April the 4th, so you will have a few more days after listening to this to go bid if you want. You also they close actually tonight. So by listening to this, you're too late. The first period Stadium Series jerseys close tonight at 9 Eastern time. So actually they looks like they did just close.
Is that on NHL auctions?
Yes.
Yes.
Over to My Gray auctions, you have some old school Toronto Maple Leafs practice jerseys. They actually closed tonight. So if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but there's like they have Alexander Mogilny in here. You have a little bit of everything. None of them looks like a bunch of them did not even get bids, but they were the old Yofa style blue ones, and some handful of decent names in there though. So what else do they have? They do have the New Jersey Devils helmet auction from the Stadium Series going till April the 11th. Those are sharp with the giant Devils logo on the side. You also have the Flyers Stadium Series nameplate and sock auction also ending on April the 11th. And then a Connor McDavid game used equipment auction ends on April the 18th. Be it socks, helmet, skates, goal puck, one of his the undershirts, the Adidas style ones for the playoffs. So I don't have the date on this yet, but coming in April, Classic Auctions is teasing some of their stuff. Looks like a bunch of stuff actually from, speaking of my Gray Berries collection, 61-62 Rob Gilbert rookie season Rangers jersey in there from Barry's collection. Clark Gillies 81-82 Islanders. Brian Gonchar 72-73 WHA Ottawa Nationals jersey, all from Barry's collection. They're teasing that, but I don't see what the date is yet for that. So that's out there. A good mix of things coming, but things that have happened that we want to touch on is there have been 2 expos in the last little bit. We in the last episode we were teasing Wade his visit to Nova, so he was our reporter in the field. But before that, we had Justin go north of the border. Tell us how things went up there, sir.
An excellent time. Pete did such an amazing job. Really good, diverse cross section of memorabilia. You know, there was an amazing Ovechkin jersey. They had the Avco Cup. You know, Jets from all periods of the team's existence. Some really good American League collections, not just Moose stuff, but collections all across the AHL that I really, really enjoyed. Blue Bombers jerseys. It was just, you know, one of the appeals to me about that event was that it wasn't just the same old stuff. Because, you know, I've been going up to Winnipeg Expos the last 4 or 5 years, and you see a lot of the same guys, you're friends with them, but Pete did such a good job of expanding it beyond that. Like David Ayers was there doing autographs, or some, you know, I think a couple of Blue Bomber players. It was a good cross section, and you know, I got there probably like 30 minutes after it opened, and I was surprised. I was waiting in line to get in. Like
Wow.
he did such a bang up job. There was just so many people walking in and out. Like, so there was, I mean, there was cards. It was just, he did such a good job of promoting it. You know, the Jets were there. It was just like, wow, there's so much stuff. So I looked forward to it. I did okay at the luck of the draw. Made a couple of really good trades, and
Now, was that put on by the Jets?
that is put on by the Jets. And you know, I did a couple and got one right away. I picked up a reverse retro, and it was a player I didn't really follow. And had I not been there, I don't think I know I couldn't have traded for what I really wanted. So I picked up an H. Schmidt gamer that was it went a couple of spots before me. So that was a lot of fun. And I traded another Navy Jets for a Moose worn by a kid from Fargo. So it really brought home, like, you know, you're watching these luck of the draw sort of results come up at home, but you don't have that opportunity to sort of live trade. And that was really, really a cool part of it. So good time. Came back with Sea Bears t-shirt from their pro basketball team, and game worn baseball jersey too. So again, all across the board. It wasn't just Jets. It was just really, it was a good group. Like a lot of members of the general public. I couldn't believe how many. So there were some collectors who were educating like people who were just there for the first time, and that was awesome. So yeah, Pete deserves a a lot of credit for kind of making it, because the first one that he had at the RBC Center there, it was well attended, but it was certainly not the diversity of what he had this year. It was awesome.
And did he say what changed or what he changed to get that diversity, or was it just that he'd done it once and the word got out and people were more interested?
I don't want to speak for him. I would imagine the more people you have displaying and the more people you have coming, probably got to be a financial component somewhere. I don't want to speak for Pete, but that would it's probably economics, because I mean, that space that he has in the downtown RBC Center, it's not like some small place on the edge of town. It's right downtown. So you'd imagine it probably has to get all those booths sold to come out, and that's just my guess.
Definitely a good info and Wade, it got me thinking with him mentioning with the Jets. Maybe we could see if we can talk the Blues into doing some kind of grab bag thing at your expo this fall.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that Pat does. I don't know. I'm biased because I like Jets and Moose jerseys, so like I'm getting a couple. I don't mind even the clunkers, but like there was a Hellebuck, there was a Kyle Connor jersey. There were players that if they were sold by the Bruins, it'd be like $1,200 a pop. So it wasn't like
bags?
they were, huh?
How much was the cost?
It was like 330 after 330 USD after taxes. So
Okay.
30 jerseys. I think they sold 26 out of the 30 spots. And to Pat's credit, like he made sure the high-end items were part of the draw. And so the 4 jerseys that were not part of the draw were just, I mean, they were good jerseys, but they were not like Hellbuck level jerseys. So I would definitely like, it's my lottery tickets. Like like I'm pretty responsible with my money otherwise. But you say something about a lucky draw with the Jets, I'm like, just shut up and take my money.
So the
But it-
4 jerseys that were pulled, because they didn't sell 3 or 4, they were game issued, but they
They
were
were-
better players. So
They were named players. There was a Lane,
Yeah.
there was a PLD that didn't get pulled.
and a
But
cop.
yeah, that was I'm sure Kings fans would love a PLD jersey for
Oh, yeah.
$300. And it was really neat because he calls the names out, and judging by the names, like I didn't see a lot of regulars in the hobby. There was a couple of them, but they were a large part of them were, I think, people who lived in Winnipeg. And thankfully I didn't get too many questions at the border coming home.
always a good thing. I say when I saw the list was published, like, hey, there's Justin. Oh wait, there's Justin again. Oh, there's Justin on that one too. But hey, congratulations. I mean, it sounds like you did well. And like you said, being there over purchasing them and having them shipped or whatever, you don't get that advantage of, well, crap, now I'm stuck with these. You're there. Hey, I like this player. Or you like making those deals because then you're much happier with how it all shakes out.
Yeah, I think this was my 7th expo between here, Winnipeg, Minnesota, and the Migraine that I've been to, and this was the first 3 trades I've ever done, and it was just, I think it's just because the guys who are there, and you feel comfortable, and the guy I traded the reverse retro to, he definitely gave it some thought, but I was like, I'm probably the only person in the hobby that was actively seeking an H. Schmidt gamer. And I got it, and the damn thing's destroyed too. So yeah, you get that live interaction when you're there, and Migrate does a good job with their expo and the live polls you can trade. But when you're just face to face with someone, it's just having a conversation and just a good time.
Now we move to the East Coast. Mr. Wade Hampton took a nice flight out there to Virginia for
Yeah.
Nova. How'd that go?
Nova was great. Hats off always to Francis. New venue this year, which was different. I think they'd had the same venue for a very long time, but it was really, really nice hotel, nice setup. Room was beautiful. Across the board, I think he's over 60 tables. It's just huge. shout out to the guys. I think Hoagie at Ice Violence hosts the Friday night little, get together, which was in a room next to the big room. And we actually had access to the big room. So people were in there kind of chit chatting and what have you. Really, really nice setup. I fly out on Friday morning, meet up with some friends, have lunch, check into the hotel, and then kind of Friday night is hanging out, running into a lot of people. Very nice time. And then Saturday is, one day show, full on bore. A lot of really, really nice displays and setups and some incredible stuff in the room. I mean, the Nova is probably second to none as far as museum quality and extremely high end stuff that you're going to get to see. I don't think anywhere else does it quite as well because it's just so big, and people really do bring out a lot of big guns. So fantastic conversations. Just that it's kind of that old breadbasket of the hobby. It seems like a lot of the East Coast guys and a lot of people from a lot of different places come in. It's a lot of fun. I had a really, really nice time and saw a lot of old friends and made some new ones, some new connections. Adam Oates was fantastic. I want to throw that out there. Classic and Francis and his crew had Adam Oates there, and he did something that I thought was really cool. He did, a little meet and greet with everybody, walked around the room, looked at everybody's stuff, signed some autographs, but then also kind of answered, did a Q&A with a microphone, which was really neat. Yeah, I mean, I guess just across the board, it's a home run. I mean, it's definitely worth attending. I think right now I'm planning on going in September to the South Jersey, just so I can support that one as well, and just enjoyed the hobby quite a bit. Flew home on Sunday and got my money's worth.
That sounds awesome. I don't understand, how, if you live in one of these cities that's hosting an expo and you're not going, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
I'm willing to drive 3.5 hours across an international border. Paul's flown to Germany. If you're just sitting at home with a house full of jerseys in your home city and not showing, what the fuck's the point? Sorry. What is the point of having
I wonder the same thing. Our show in St. Louis, Doc, Doc will tell you, I'm always reaching out to the guys in Chicago or who don't have an expo. Nashville people. It's they're close enough where I'm always and then even the local St. Louis guys are guys who are, players in our game who don't make the effort. There's times I'm just man, what are we why are you not coming to this?
you have
if I missed it, I'd be sick. I mean, honestly, if I don't go to there are the Migrate one or the South Philly, or when Paul does his, man, I'm sitting at home when I miss one of those and I'm just God, what did I miss? Oh no. So I agree.
I'm with you on that. I will say every time we put on a show out here, it never fails. A week or so later, it's wait, you guys had an expo and I didn't know about it?
Yeah.
It's just
I
how
get the
much
same
more
thing.
advertising can we do? The people on Facebook groups are sick of us advertising.
The one that gets me every year for ours, and Doc will probably attest to this, we'll be sitting there and somebody will text me who lives in the area within an hour of the show, and they're like, hey, could you look out for this for me? Or hey, and mine's 2 days. I'm like, no, I can't. If you couldn't, no offense, I can't. I'm busy.
Yeah, I mean, and you and I both had people reach out who are legitimately out of town, can't get there.
Yeah, different ball game.
Yeah, I'll help them, but if you can't get off your lazy ass, get in a car and drive over, come on.
Yeah, if you're within an hour area and you're just, I can't make it, or I didn't, whatever. It's geez, come on, making,
And
how are you you're missing out on so much good of the hobby. I mean, like you said, I touch stuff, shout out to Milt. Milt had there was I forgot the gentleman's name, but there was a guy who had a Vezina display that was incredible.
That was Sean.
Sean, yeah, Sean, thank you. Thank you. I mean, what an incredible display. I mean, it was like hockey history from, forever. I mean, incredible. Milt, you walk by Milt's table and Milt's got a Gretzky and a Lemieux. Derek Whitworth's got a second year Iserman jersey. There's Adam Oates gamers, just some incredible, across the board, incredible stuff. And then even beyond that, you look at some of the minor league stuff that you see that like you don't see every day, and some of the crests and some of the wear, and you're just like, dude, like getting your hands and eyes in person on this stuff is such a treat. Period. Like, period.
And what Pete did so well in Winnipeg is that he made it, we have the August event where it's just the hockey jersey enthusiasts, but for this one, he does a good job of making it community centered. So, he gets buy-in from some of the local shops. He's selling tickets locally. It's very much like a regional show. And I think that helps with showing, like non-jersey collectors, like there were a lot of conversations about the hobby. Like I saw people being introduced to collecting. I saw,
Mhm.
And it's just like you really do get an opportunity to learn. And when you connect it to like a city, that's awesome. I know of like 4 or 5, maybe 6 collectors in Fargo. I just can't see it pulling. I can't see it happening. And to be able to lean into it as you guys have done to get the St. Louis ones and the San Jose ones. I would love to get like a small gathering, but
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing the collectors.
No, and I get that. There's certain places it's just not going to work. There's certain demographics that just aren't going to work. And for me, it's one of those things where, um, get out to one. Just get out and do it. We say this all the time. I feel like a broken record when we do it, but it's like, man, get out and check this stuff out because you're going to walk away. One of the things at the St. Louis one that I get a kick out of is we obviously open the door to other sports, and I have some really great friends that collect baseball stuff. And one of the neat things that I always see is, and at the no, going back to the Nova, there's guys with baseball stuff there. There's guys with football stuff, Redskins stuff, which was super cool to go and like kind of dig through the football jerseys. And there was baseball stuff, but like it's always funny to me when you see like the hockey guys at the baseball table, or you see the baseball guys over at one of the hockey tables. And it's neat to see that, and it grows not just our segment of the hobby, but the whole hobby in itself, which is awesome. And then even the people that collect stadium giveaway stuff or whatever, it's so fun. Just go. You may walk in there and walk out of there with something you never thought you'd want.
Yeah, and the giveaways, this trip I went over on the giveaways, but usually they're pretty
Yeah.
good stuff. Like the August Expo that Pat does, like I've taken sticks. They've done jerseys. It's just you get a chance to see some of like the small pieces of ephemera that would
Absolutely.
otherwise sit in a basement, and it's like, oh yeah, this is really cool.
Well, getting back to the Nova on my end, it was an incredible trip. The hotel was beautiful. My flight was great. The camaraderie was great. The show itself was very well attended. Some legends of our hobby, some newer guys that I got to meet for the first time, who are some younger guys, and some veteran collectors, and just some really really neat experiences and stories exchanged. We do the dinner that like a bunch of people go to dinner on Saturday night, which is a treat. Like I said, it's a 10 of 10. So hats off to Francis, hats off to the other guys, AJ and Derek and Classic Auctions, and anybody I'm missing who's helping support Francis in the venture at this point. But it's a annual trip for me at this point. It's something I plan on doing every year. So, again, I'm just fortunate to have made some friendships in this.
There you go.
Yeah, get out wherever you are, or again, if you're in an isolated area, but you got a bunch of other collectors, get together and do one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in a massive location. Do it in a bar back room.
No.
Do it somewhere, because then you make those connections and it may grow. Or you guys all decide, hey, let's get these other people involved, or we'll all travel somewhere else. But I mean, if you
Absolutely.
have questions, reach out to anybody that's put one on. Paul, Wade, any of the guys, Francis, whoever. If you have questions or, hey, how should I start this? Do it.
Yeah.
I mean, crap. I remember one year, Wade, a bunch of us just got together of Dave and Buster's in St. Louis.
Yeah.
People just brought a handful of stuff to show, and we
Yeah,
played, and we just
absolutely.
had like 4 tables there. It was a
Yeah,
whole lot of nothing, but we put faces to people that we'd been talking to in emails and in social media.
The first time I did this, and I don't even count it as the first one as far as the year count. The first one I did, it was at a local little bar in like North St. Louis, like kind of by Florissant. And I think people who brought stuff, it was like me and 2 other people. And then the guy that owned the bar was there hanging out, and like a couple other people stopped by. It was literally like 4 or 5 people. And that was my venture into it. And then when I did that, I had so much fun. I said, I'm going to make something of this, like, and now it's what it is. And I'm sure, and Francis is famous for always telling the story that I guess the first year he did it, it was like 4 or 5 people, and he's turned this thing into a hobby event, which is incredible. But like kind of what Justin's saying, I mean, even if it's Justin and 2 of his buddies getting together to play with their stuff or show off something, just enjoy this stuff, because if you just have a room full of it and all you do is pile the stuff in there, but you don't make the connections, it's just stuff.
The one of the really interesting expos out there is the Minnesota game one.
Yeah.
I believe they have that at Tom Reed's City Pub downtown.
Yeah.
And then it's when I went, it was like a bunch of us in a small room. And
Yeah.
you're like showing, I mean, what goes better with hockey than like beer? Like you're just
Yeah.
like sitting there hanging out with, I mean, that Jersey group tends to get a lot of Gopher stuff, unfortunately. But it's like it's a very intimate environment, and you're talking with friends that you get to know, and it's just, I don't know. I would count some of these guys I've met 6-7 years ago that are legitimate friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, both of you gentlemen, Wade and Justin, thanks for being the insiders for these expos on our place, and of course, Paul, when
I sent you an invoice for the flight.
Yeah,
Since I was
I'll get
on
that paid out of,
location. Yeah.
I'll
Since
get
I was
that
on
paid out of petty
location
cash.
for 30 longer. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pay that out of petty cash as soon as I have petty cash to pay it out of. So if anybody wants to donate to that, feel free. But no, great coverage, gentlemen. It's great to try and get out to others. That's my plan down the road, is to get to some of these other places. I want to get out to San Jose, Paul, and hang out with you guys, get to Nova, get to some of the other ones, not just here in the Midwest. We've covered a lot of stuff tonight and really didn't have a true set topic, but I think we've hit a lot of things. Anything else on anybody's minds before we get out of here?
Bring on the playoffs.
Not for Paul.
Not,
Yeah,
neither of my NHL teams, but we got the NCAA playoffs right now. As you mentioned, the Gophers. I know this will be broadcast later. They just tied it up with UNO, so 1-1 going into the third. And,
when does Penn State play this weekend?
Yeah, I think your season ended after the wrestling championship, but
I think our season ended in January.
When does Michigan play in St. Louis, Paul?
Tomorrow night against North Dakota.
Yeah,
that's going to be really interesting, and that's such a small barn. And
go Blue! That's the only time I'll ever say that. Go Blue!
Thank you.
Oh wow!
And then
that's recorded. That's recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. All posterity now, and then they'll play another game on Easter Sunday.
Yes, the winners of that game and the state Western game play on Sunday.
Ooh, that could be Michigan State on Sunday. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I'd rather play.
Justin,
much rather play Western. Not because it would be. Well, first of all, I hate state. Not that, but with a lot of good friends who went to Western, and much rather be seeing Western in the tournament than State again.
Yeah,
So.
nope, I get that. Justin, any final thoughts for you?
No, I can't believe I just said go blue. What is wrong with me?
So
And
did
Go
Ben.
wash your mouth out with soap now.
I don't know. No, I'm probably just gonna go bid on one of those how things to make me feel better about this. Like, what? Like, did I lose a bet to you that I just haven't recalled that it's just somehow in my brain?
I'm not sure, but I really like this. And technically, you said it twice.
No.
Yes.
Well, such is my rooting interest when it comes to the University of North Dakota.
Wow, that's
You know what I'm
great.
going to have to do is I'll take the audio from here and I actually clip that down. And with my fancy roadcaster, I can make that as a button and it'll just play Go Blue over and over again. So anytime Justin gets out of line, I'll just play that and remind him.
Go blue.
So,
Excellent. Wow.
Wade, any final thoughts from you?
No, I mean, great catching up with everybody this week. Hopefully I've been sitting here trying to bite my tongue from yelling, watching the Blues play, and still hoping for a playoff appearance from us. Not terribly confident that's going to happen. I will be reporting back on. I'm going to be attending the Kelly Chase game that they're having, an alumni game for his battle with cancer, which is actually going to be on the 5th, next Friday, at Centene. And it's really a big lineup of former Blues and NHL players coming in town. And I'm just really excited to see what that looks like for supporting Kelly in this battle, because he is such a great guy. If you've ever had the chance to meet Kelly, he's really a wonderful ambassador to Blues hockey in St. Louis, and just wanted to wish him well in his battle, and excited to go and support it, next Friday.
Yeah,
So,
and
get well.
yeah,
You
I
get
can't,
well, Kelly.
definitely can't wait to hear more on that. And if anybody hasn't seen Ice Guardians, I know it's been out for 4 or 5 years now. I think it's across different streaming platforms. Go watch it. Chase is in on that, and does some great interviews. It's a fantastic thing talking about all the enforcers over the years and what their role and why they did what they did, and it's phenomenal. Yeah, and the Blues alumni keep updating the list of people coming, some just coming, some coming and playing. This afternoon Ronick was announced, he's playing. Brennan Shanahan is coming to play. Doug Waite will be there but not playing. Pierre Turgeon. You've got a couple of actors. You have DB Sweeney and Dave Coulier. The
Some really
crazy
big
one.
names.
What's that?
Garth Brooks. I mean,
Yes.
Garth Brooks is going to be there. For me, it's one of the, I think Dirks Bentley is also a big hockey guy. He'll be
Yeah,
there.
he's Dirks Bentley is freaking playing in the
Playing.
game.
I
That's
think the lead
amazing.
singer from another one is playing. Old Dominions guy is playing.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
a big hockey guy too.
So it's a really, really big event. I think Wayne's going to be there. They won't announce Wayne. They don't normally announce him for alumni stuff, but I'm sure if he's not doing something for TNT, he'll be there because he is really close with Kelly. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to get to know him over the years, and I got to purchase the VIP package to go and support it. And I know the Blues are probably going to have, there's definitely going to be some auctions coming up for stuff from that. So I'm looking forward to supporting those as well.
Yeah, and I had to laugh too because I'd finally pulled up the roster. The alumni have it out there. Ed Belfour is coming and playing as a forward.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun. I'm glad to be supporting the cause.
Yeah, and I know there'll be all kinds of stuff online, even if you're not a Blues fan. It's all the money's going back to Siteman Cancer Center, which it's there in St. Louis, and all the money is going for research and research alone. They're not using it for paying medical bills or other things. It is 100% research, which
I'm actually really excited to see what the jerseys look like, and seeing what they do with those. And that's going to be the cool part about it too. If you're not even a Blues fan, you're just an NHL fan. When you look at that list of players, whether or not it's Belfour or Adam Graves, or there's guys from all kinds of different places coming into play on the other end of it. I'm sure the jerseys are going to be cool, and hopefully people will bid on those to support, cancer research, which has probably affected anybody you know's life. We've all lost somebody or have somebody battling it. So huge cause for me.
So with that, we are north of 8,000 listens now across these 41 shows. Thank you for all that support. Again, continue to like, subscribe between wherever you go. I'd like to, every week I see those numbers go up. I know after Nova, and again, thank you for people that went to Nova. I got messages saying, hey, I was driving and listened to it in the car, because I did have it up early Friday morning. So people were listening to it traveling, and that's awesome. Thank you for messages I've gotten from people that I've never talked to before.
Yeah. And I did get that too at the show. I had people come up. I did have a little flyer for the show on my table, and I did get a lot of people who walked up who complimented the show and our listeners, and thanks for saying something and introducing. That was really cool.
Yeah, so thank you for all the support. Yes, we could have 0 listeners and still be having just as much fun, but we do like that interaction. If you have suggestions for guests, for subjects, for you wanting to come on, reach out. Don't be embarrassed. Again, it's just a bunch of us talking. It's organized, but it's not formal. So again, if you want to come on and talk about something in this hobby, feel free to reach out. We will get you worked in. Gentlemen, until next time, another Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey podcast in the book.